evening and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Red Dragon Sports. As we continue through our spring sports season, we'd like to highlight tonight the softball program. So if you join me after the break, I'll be joined by head coach Liz Wagner.
Danny, thank you for coming. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while. It's about us. I can't be with you any longer. I know you really like me and I like you too, but it's just too much for me. It's like you always have to be around me. Like when I ask if you want to go for a walk with me, you get so overexcited. Maybe it was a bad idea to move in together. It's my fault, not yours. I was just so excited to be with you, I didn't realize I wasn't ready. You're a good dog. I know you'll find someone great.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now in studio is head softball coach Liz Wagner. Welcome back to the show, Liz.
Thank you.
How are things going so far?
Very well, very well. Training hard. Had 6 a.m. practices this morning, in fact. Did some conditioning, stair workouts, lifting with the new Kaiser system. Yeah. Team's
Kaiser
working real
system,
hard.
That $250 worth of equipment over in
$250.
Yeah, a lot of money, $250,000 to put into getting our athletes stronger, faster. Mm-hmm. What kind of an impact do you think that'll have across the board, and especially in the sport of softball?
I think in particular for the sport of softball, I think it's great because it focuses on explosion and speed more than building bulk or building muscle. I think it's perfect for softball. We're a real, start and stop type of sport. You know, you're going from a stationary position, whether it's in the batter's box or from a fielding position, to full out sprints, changing direction a lot. So I think anything that can make our players faster, speedier, more explosive, just quickness is everything. So
right, so more transfer fantastic. Of, I guess you'd say, sport-specific training. Mm-hmm. You find that the Kaiser equipment was pretty good, will work out well for your gals.
We do a ton of sport-specific and position-specific.
Oh, okay. What kinds of things would you do for position-specifics?
We break it down. Pitchers have their own. They actually hook up to the belt, to the functional trainers, and do their pitching motion for leg drive, hooked up to the machines, with as much as 40-45 pounds of pressure. Wow. And then they resist walking back. The catchers, they start with a belt, and then they jump out. They're in their squat, and then they jump up to a throwing position. Outfielders do drop steps. Infielders do crossovers and forehands, backhands. So it's a lot
of the technology specific. Is really here, and it's helping not just, but you feel that it's really being, it's worth its weight in gold for
absolutely.
softball.
And I think the biggest part is the buy-in that we're getting from the athletes, especially female athletes that don't want to get big. Right. It's kind of a cliche, but female athletes don't want to get bulky. And we've never designed workouts that would get them bulky, but to see this and just to see the results, and they feel like they're getting stronger and leaner and faster very quickly. Girls that hated the weight room last year are coming up to me telling me how great they think this workout is. So.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So how does that now transfer into your team? You got quite a few freshmen this year.
We do.
Relatively young still. We're going to talk
freshmen.
to a couple upperclassmen, one upperclassman on tonight's show, a junior. So how's the mix of the team coming along?
Good. Very good. We've got 18 underclassmen out of 23, and that's more upperclassmen than we usually have players on our roster. So it's a real change. But we just, after last year, it was a real experience with growth, and just, we kept getting knocked down. It was a real tough year. I think that, John and I, John Sperenzi, our assistant coach, and I just decided we really needed a new look to the team. We want to give everybody, we had a lot of great athletes try out. Several walk-ons made our team, and we could not bring ourselves to leave any of those players off the roster. It was just everybody proved that they really have a true upside and can really contribute. So
so I mean, especially for walk-ons, people that you didn't recruit or look at to bring here. How important? So you're looking for potential, really, not
potential, or athletes that can fill a role. That can really either be that carrot player that maybe doesn't have just the talent that they were born with, as much as maybe the next kid that was recruited and highly recruited, but they just work their tail off, and they're really a leader in that way just from their work ethic. And we've got a couple on the team that made the team sheerly because they just love the game, and they're leaders out there because of how hard they work.
And how important is that for those types of athletes in your program, especially when they come in as freshmen and like you said, maybe they weren't recruited, but now they're kind of infused into a team that is full of recruited athletes, players that are returning. How do you think that mixes in with the rest of the group?
I think it's going to make us stronger. I think that our team chemistry and the respect within just amongst the players, I think, has been a lot stronger because of that. Because they see some of their teammates that I think already know, hey, it's going to be tough for me to get on the field. I'm going to contribute in all the ways that the coaches asked me to. But I think that's just cultivated a lot of respect amongst the players that, we've always had respectful athletes, but I think this is a whole different ballgame. It's a whole new look this year.
Okay, now how do you, so as those players go along, now of course younger players, how does that change your coaching at all? You'd like to work with veteran players, but now you're with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. So how does that?
Well, right now I think our biggest challenge is just getting enough personal attention with our players, which as we progress over the next few weeks before we go on our trip south, I think it's more important, and we'll do some more staggered practices and split practices, outfielders in one session, infielders in another, or pitchers, catchers first, and then the rest of the team. And we break them up a little bit because right now it is very hard for the two of us to give them all the attention that they need, and sort of the personal critiques and the one-on-one work.
Now, you mentioned you're going to go south to Florida. You're going to play in Claremont down at the National Training Center. How does that trip work every year? When we go to Arizona, we've been to Arizona. I mean, I got fortunate enough to travel with you one year for Arizona to just see that preseason. You work out the kinks kind of stuff. I mean, how important it is to have trips where you can get some games in against some good competition.
I think it's absolutely paramount to our season as a Division III softball team that we can play maximum of 40 games. We have 38 on our schedule. It would be just near impossible to get those in with the weather in upstate New York. I think that's the biggest reason, and it's great that we get a lot of support from student development and Dr. Perry and Tracy. We get a lot of support from them to make sure that we do give our athletes 8 or 10 games down south, which has been I think a huge change since I've been here from what I've heard. So it's really wonderful, and I just think that the bonding they go through, they're with each other, in a hotel suite with 5 or 6 of them in each suite, and they're just taken over that room, and it looks like whirlwind went through most of their rooms, but they're just living in close quarters and with each other 24/7 for 7 days, and it'll be 10 days this year because we fly straight into Buffalo and start conference games against Fredonia and then Buffalo.
So what kinds of things are you looking for during that spring trip when you start the season? I mean, is it just everybody to play, or you're trying to figure out who's going to fit into the
We try a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different lineups as far as, who's going to fit where in our offensive lineup, who's going to have the confidence to be out on the field as a starter and just get it done, as well as combinations. It's really important that, for instance, shortstop and second baseman work well together, that, you might have someone in there for their bat, at certain positions, pitchers and catchers, who's feeling most comfortable with each other. I think that we look for combinations out there as well, but I think it's just who can step out there and just get it done.
Right.
Under the pressure.
Because like you said, you're going to go right from there, right into conference play, and Buffalo and Fredonia are two of the better teams, in our conference.
Yeah, they're pretty good right now.
So it's, boom, you could find yourself, hopefully, you could be 4-0, you could be 0-4, but get yourself off to a start. So I could see how you want to try and establish that kind of a lineup before you get to those games.
Right, and we usually have a week or two after our trip to come back, and then all those kinks that we know we need to get out, we come back and we get to work on those in the gym. And we don't have that this year. We don't have that luxury.
Go right into the season.
We've got one outdoor practice after our 8 games down in Florida.
Well, of course, the weather is crazy. I mean, last year we had 50s and 60s during the month of February and March, and we were outside practically the whole, most of the time. I mean, I know it was great for our lacrosse programs to be outside pretty much every day to give more gym time. So this season, why don't you talk about some of the players that we have and some of the people that we should be looking for?
This year's team, I have to say, and as you know, season outlook, we've worked on that, to get that release out. It's a really difficult year because we've got some players that clearly are going to be out there starting, but there are some positions that we could put 2, 3, 4 people in one position, and it's just it might come down to who's hitting, who's getting it done at the plate, because defensively I think we're very athletic this year, we're speedy, I think we're just very talented, but it's right now I think offensively is where we're going to look for someone to shine. I think right now, we've got 2 great players with us today that I think, I think Trisha Kenzier, she's the junior that's going to be talking today. She's a player that had a tremendously strong freshman year, was hampered a little bit, had just a crazy injury in Florida last year. That was just one of those nagging things that, we didn't get to use her every day as much as we wanted to. So that, and that probably did hurt us quite a bit last year. Yeah. But she's looking great and working her butt off. So this year, we're hoping that she's out there every day. She's a strong outfielder that she's going to probably be in center field and right field, depending on who else is out there. Right. And then Nicole Briva is a sophomore that we're going to hear from today as well. And Briva's just a workhorse. She's one of the hardest workers on the team as far as just work ethic and aggression and going hard, all the time. And she does it. They're both tremendous academic students as well. So they both they just go really hard. And Briva she could be at second base or shortstop. She's working real hard. So she's really pushing the other middle infielders right now.
And to have those two leaders in our program, certainly, as we have a lot of freshmen this year, I got to think that's got to help the rest of the program as well to kind of set the pace and set the tone and what's expected for Oneonta softball. Really, I mean, it's so I'm sure it helps to have those two players around. And along with now pitching wise, how are we looking for pitching
wise? We've got we're still young pitching. We've got two returning sophomores that threw probably the most innings, the majority of the innings out of the returners, in Katie O'Flynn and Rachel Hitt. Katie has looked really strong coming in. I think she struck out probably 70% of our own batters the first time she took the cage this year, and she just looked really, really strong. Rachel, she's she's an outfielder as well, so we love her in the outfield. We love her on the mound. She's really just kind of a strong defensive player that I think is going to help us a lot. She's throwing really hard right now. She's I don't know if it's the Kaiser, but they're working really hard, and they look strong in their lower body, which is what makes a pitcher last. Right. So, and Steph Gaska is a great pitcher who I'm not sure, depending on just how healthy we can keep her and how strong. She'll see time as a starter and a reliever, I think. Yep. And we've got two strong freshman pitchers, a transfer pitcher. We're Sporan's jokes that we're like the New York Yankees. We've got a whole arsenal.
If one goes down, you need somebody to come in. I mean, I think sometimes teams go in and say, well, we only need one or two, because we've seen them. We've seen the teams that pitch the same girl like all the time, but they stay healthy and they kind of can get through with it. But in Division III, it doesn't take much for somebody to go down, and now you're looking and saying, oh, geez, we should have had a couple more pitchers or something. So
and we hope that two of them really just put their heads above the rest. That's what you hope every year as a coach. Right. So you really have got your 1-2 punch, And then sometimes even down the line in postseason and in conference championships, we're hoping to get there this year. A lot of times you're just going with one, depending on how many games you're playing in a day. So I'd like to see two of them really emerge from the group, and if another one just proves to be a great closer or something, that's just a bonus. Yeah. So.
Well, we certainly want to thank you for stopping by tonight. We want to thank you. Continue good success this year, and stay healthy. And hopefully we'll see you in the postseason as far as SUNY and beyond. So thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much, Geoff.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank head softball coach Liz Wagner for coming by tonight. And after the break, I'll be joined by junior Trisha Kenzier. Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is junior softball player Trisha Kenzier. Welcome to the show, Trish.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Trisha Kenzier. They usually call me Nugget. I am from Poquay, which is downstate a little bit by Poughkeepsie. I graduated from Arlington High School, where I played field hockey and softball.
Now, when you were coming out of high school, did you really think that softball, that's it, you weren't going to try field hockey?
Well, I thought about it, but softball is my one love, so.
Yeah. And certainly you had a great freshman year for us.
I did.
You were all conference and all region. That was, what kind of a transition was that from going from high school to college?
It was actually a lot different because I came into college and not even expecting to start. I was a walk-on, so I really expected nothing. And then like the first time that coach actually said that I was starting and I was in the starting lineup, I was like elated. I had no idea. Yeah. So to even have that opportunity was awesome.
Right, and now you, I mean, you're a versatile player. You're in the outfield now, but you were playing second base for us.
Yeah, I came in as second baseman,
and you did a great job for us. Is there a big difference between the two positions, really?
I mean, there's a difference, but if you embrace the difference, I mean, if I'm gonna play where I'm gonna play. So if I don't really have the choice. So coach puts me in the outfield, I'm out there. So just gotta embrace it.
Right now, it's but really for a college athlete, it's really just more the opportunity to play and contribute and help the team.
For me,
win.
that's what it was. Yeah, and I think for most of the girls out there, that is what it's for. So.
Yeah. Now, as a junior on our program, 3-year player, starter for us. I mean, you know, we did. Coach mentioned last year you were hampered a little bit by kind of a nagging injury, which, you know, I mean, you can't do much about that, but certainly you gave it your best effort. And now coming back this year, certainly, you know, what kinds of things are you hoping for as you?
I'm hoping to, you know, help the team do big things, hopefully make it to SUNYACs. The last 2 years we've come up a little short, so, I mean, I think we have the core, we have the talent, we have dedication, the will to do it this year, so I think we're all in it, and we could definitely do it. So,
now, as a leader in our program, what's it like for you to kind of be surrounded by a lot of freshmen and sophomores? And
I mean, it's different. Last year we were even younger than we are this year, so I mean, I was kind of used to it. And I mean, we're still young this year. We have only 5 of us that are upperclassmen, 2 which are transfers. So it's tough, but I think they're all mature enough and they can get it done, and they're in it to win it. So
now, some of the other things that you're involved with on campus, you know, when you chose Oneonta, why did you choose Oneonta?
To be honest with you, it was a last-minute decision. So, I mean, I kind of dragged my feet a little bit coming into college, didn't know what I wanted to do. And so Oneonta was my last decision. Well, not my last decision, but my final decision. I liked the atmosphere, I liked the academics, and I figured, I emailed coach and I said I want to try out, and she said, yeah, you could try out. So, I mean.
Right. So for you, you know, being a Division III student athlete, you know, like you said, I mean, you came here, you had to try out, you weren't really recruited.
Yeah.
Now that you're here and you've decided, you know, what about Oneonta stands out for you as a student athlete?
I mean, the academics is great. I'm a biology major with concentration in pre-med, and it's really great. I mean, the anatomy and physiology program here is way better than anywhere. So. So for my major, it's great. The atmosphere is great. The people are great. The town, you can't ask for anything else. So.
Right. Now, similar sized town, your hometown in Oneonta?
Oneonta is probably smaller, but.
Yeah. So it wasn't a culture shock to.
No, not really.
So what are you looking forward to this year?
Well, I think we're a fresh set of girls. We're carrying 23, which is bigger than my 2 years previous to this. And I think we have a lot of talent, we have a lot of dedication, and I think we can only go up from here. So I think SUNYACs are definitely a positive. So
who are the teams to beat this year?
I mean, like always, we got to beat them all to get there. Right. So, I mean, there's always Cortland, there's always Plattsburgh, but I mean, can never, you know, underestimate any team.
Right. Softball seems to be a pretty deep sport in the SUNYAC. I mean, you know, there's 10 teams, but it's always a battle to make the top 6 and get into the SUNYAC tournament. I mean, when you get there, you feel like you accomplished a lot because you have to play so many good teams in the SUNYAC with a lot of good players. So, well, we certainly hope that you're there this year, and we hope that you can stay injury-free and give us a full year of 100% of Trish.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank Trisha Kenzier for coming by tonight. And after the break, I'll be joined by sophomore Nicole Breva.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool, really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me now is softball player Nicole Breva. Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Long Island, Suffolk County, Kings Park High School I graduated from. I'm a sophomore biology major, and I'm a shortstop second baseman.
Now, Trish was biology major, pre-med. What are you looking to do with your biology?
I'm aspiring to be a physician's assistant.
Oh.
So, exciting.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Right. Hard work.
Yeah, now, you know, we know that you're doing a lot of things within our department. You're certainly an active, involved in our, student athlete advisory committee. You just did an internship with career athletes, which is certainly a great venture for us as a department. You're doing stuff for Special Olympics. I want to maybe try and take each one of those and try and give us an update on some of the experiences of being a Division III athlete and the things you can do. So why don't we talk about the career athletes internship first?
Sure. Well, last fall I had the internship. Basically, it's you create a profile. Every student athlete, it's very similar to LinkedIn, but it's specified toward athletes because, I mean, what we say is if you think about it as athletes it's a little bit more difficult for us to get jobs because we have a little bit less time than more people, so less time for other jobs, internships, whatever it may be. So this is kind of an easier way for athletes to use those traits that we acquire as an athlete to kind of just put this into perspective and get other people to see our profile, see who we are, and get jobs and internships for us.
Now the connections there, like you said, I mean, it's all athletes, former athletes, people who are out in the industries that we're trying to get into. I mean, for you, being a trying to be a physician's assistant, what kinds of connections can our student athletes really get to?
Well, honestly, there's any kind of connection. I had a little bit of trouble at first reaching out into the medical field, but now I'm looking at an internship for this summer that I got from career athletes. I'm actually going to be working with Stryker Orthopedics and learning about all the orthopedic technology, which is very interesting because that's what I'm going to go into, orthopedics.
Right. So the career athletes, I mean, how many student athletes do we currently have? Because one of your jobs, I think last year, with the internship was trying to kind of promote and get some people to sign up. So how many do we currently have? And we have almost 450 student athletes. So
I can imagine that almost every single person is signed up. Whoever isn't signed up right now, the girl who took over, Rory Stark, she's on the women's soccer team, and she's doing a great job so far. She's starting to get everybody else, whoever's not involved, everybody's getting involved, and we're trying to get all of our coaches, trying to get them as mentors on the site. So it's going very well.
And so what did that internship mean for you, and what did it, what do you think it'll do for you down the road?
It really just helped me kickstart my my resume, my whole entire college career. You don't hear of too many people having internships as a first semester sophomore. So, I mean, that was really important for me just to get myself out there. It really helped me in other ways, organization, speaking. So it was fun.
Never too early then, what you're saying is never too early to start career planning.
Absolutely,
and
never too
career
early.
athletes, for all your athletes out there, we really want to get them on there.
Right.
Let's shift to Special Olympics, your involvement in Special Olympics. We have an event that we're trying to plan for the spring.
Right.
Tell us a little
I
bit
believe
about
it's going to be April 21st. We're going to have an event. It's probably the first time that athletes are getting together with the Greek life. So we're getting us together to kind of, I was talking to the advisor of Greek life, and we were saying how imagine what could happen if the two biggest groups on campus got together and made something even bigger happen. So what we're doing, we're having an Olympics against each other. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are going to show up just because it's going to be exciting, something different that everybody can be involved in. And we're hoping to get a lot out of it to donate to the Special Olympics this year.
Yeah, now because Division III is partnered with Special Olympics, and I know that all the championship sites try to have those teams that are in the championships, Final Four, in our case it would be the College World Series for softball, the 8 teams that are going there, to do something with Special Olympics to create some kind of a bond and a partnership with all these Special Olympics. How important do you think that is for
It's
students?
so important. It's so important just for us to get ourselves out there, start doing something, making a difference, whether it be having kids come in and sit in our dugout or just cheer on for our games. They love that. And, for us to see the excitement that they have, it's great seeing the smiles on their faces.
Right. So now as you go, as we kind of get into our season here, certainly you had a pretty solid freshman year for us, and now you're looking forward to your second year. I mean, what kind of expectations do you have for yourself this year?
For myself, I just want to keep working harder to get myself to improve all the time. That's what I'm all about, self-improvement. But I mean, as far as the team goes, Coach says it all the time, we're probably one of the hardest working teams that she's seen, and I believe that 100% because I haven't seen a team work as hard as we've been working, and it's great to see as we progress that we don't necessarily, things aren't becoming easier, but they're becoming less difficult, and it's great to see how much stronger we're getting, faster, you know, how much better we're getting skill-wise and everything. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
And you being, you know, part of what we would consider a younger squad to begin with a lot of freshmen, having that all work together. And, you know, next year there'll be another freshman class, and, you know, you'll be a junior, and now you'll be, you know, everybody will be a year older. And so how important do you think that is for just as we continue to build our program with underclassmen to get to the upper class?
Very much so. It's very interesting to see how many people have actually stepped up this year. So right now we have a leadership circle with about 6 girls, and you know, we're all working together. But the great part is that it's not just those 6 girls being leaders.
Right.
You know, it's really everybody, and it's so great to see that everybody's working toward this one goal, and we're all so into it. And it's going to be really great to see how much this can grow within the next couple of years.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck, and we hope that you reach all your goals, and we certainly want to thank you and appreciate all your involvement with all the stuff that's going on in our department. So,
of course.
So congratulations for that, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'd like to thank all the softball members for coming by tonight, and you can follow them all season long on www.oneontaathletics.com. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time on Inside Red Dragon Sports.